Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about budget hacks. We're going to talk about how to get the most bang out of your baht. Now, before we get into how to save money while you are in the country, let's talk about saving you money to get to Thailand. Now, the first thing to get a cheap flight is pick the right time of year to come. In other words, if you want to actually save money and spend less, then arrive here on the off season. In other words, don't come at the high time when all the prices of all the flights are high, because there's a big demand for people to come to Thailand. November, December, January. These are terrible months to come to Thailand if you're trying to get low airfare. Those will be the highest airfares of the year because that is the busiest time here in Thailand and the airlines know they can get it. Now, when you book, either book your ticket way in advance or last minute, one or the other, and you might be able to save money that way. So if you can buy it, 6 months to 3 months, a year out, something like that, you're probably going to pay a lower rate than if you wait, let's say, 3 weeks before the dates you want to leave, and you're last minute. So if you got everything ready and you don't have a ticket, look for last minute deals, because sometimes the airlines offer a cheaper price to finish filling up their flights. Another way is to be flexible on your flight dates. If you're going to get picky, forget about saving any money. You got to be flexible. You got to be willing to fly at an inopportune time, and your flight could even be longer. But if you're trying to save money, you're going to have to suck it up a little bit. So don't be too picky whenever you're trying to decide your dates. And this should go without saying, but you really do need to compare prices of different airlines. I would suggest using some online web service that has the listings of all of the different airlines. I'm going to give you my suggestion here, and that is to use Google Flights. And I'm going to explain why I go into Google Flights. And let's say I'm looking at a flight going from Atlanta and I want to go to, let's say, Bangkok. So I can put that in there, and then I click and I can see all the dates that I can pick from. But I'm looking at the prices. It'll show all the prices for the different days before I click on it, versus having to just randomly pick some dates and hope that it has a cheaper airfare. And then from there, whenever you do find the flights or the price that you do want, you click on it and it'll give you airlines to pick from. Another tip for getting a cheap flight is, if let's say you're coming to where I'm at in Chiang Mai, which is up north, look for a ticket possibly to go to Bangkok instead. Bangkok is a huge hub, and it doesn't cost very much money to fly from Bangkok, let's say, to Chiang Mai, or Bangkok to Phuket. So if you're looking for a direct flight to Phuket or for Chiang Mai, but you want to save even more money, try looking at flying directly into Bangkok. Maybe even spend a couple of days there and see if you like Bangkok or not. But if you really want to get to your final destination, you can book a very cheap flight from Bangkok to the other destinations within Thailand. Okay, now that you're here in Thailand, let's look at ways you can save money on a day-to-day basis. For one, when you're going to buy something, if the price is clearly marked, for the most part, that is the price you're going to pay. Whether you're Thai, whether you're not Thai, it's a safe bet that that's going to be a good price. Where it gets a little bit confusing is where there is no price, because then it's up for negotiation. And it could possibly mean that they notice that you are not Thai and the price has been raised, which means now you're going to haggle your way down. And if you're like me and you're not very good at haggling, you're going to end up paying more. So my first tip is look for prices that are already marked. Next tip, go north. Now, what do I mean go north? Okay, in Thailand, the prices are a little bit more expensive down south. As you start to travel up north, the prices seem to go down on everything. I am in Chiang Mai, which is all the way up north, and the prices are a lot lower than they are, let's say, at Phuket or Bangkok, way down south. So if you're looking to get the most bang for your baht, you're gonna wanna go north. And I've already mentioned this once before. The next tip again is travel out of season. And there's more than one reason just for the flights. Because when you come here on the off season, meaning not November, December, January, you're coming some of the other months, there's not as many tourists. that means the hotel prices are lower. That means that the price for just about everything tourist related is going to be lower. It's a better time to come here. And there's more availability at different hotels and things to where there normally would not be any availability during the high season. Want to save money here? Go where the Thais go. In other words, don't go where all the other foreigners are. More than likely, if you see a bunch of foreigners somewhere, the prices of the place, whether it be a restaurant or a store, is going to be higher. Look for where the Thais go. If you don't see any foreigners around, that's a good sign that you're about to save some money, because the prices are going to be more geared toward Thais and it is going to be a less amount. Another way you can save money, let's say you're wanting to do an excursion somewhere and you're traveling, let's say solo, or there's just two of you. So if you try to book some sort of, I don't know, let's say it's some sort of taxi, song tao, tuk-tuk, whatever it is, wherever it is in Thailand you are, there's different modes of transportation. We could be talking about a boat if you're at the islands. If you can find other people that are looking to go to the same destination you are, you could save money by joining forces. And now instead of going as a group of 2, maybe you can join with 5 others and go as a group of 7 and save money that way. Next money saving tip is book direct. Meaning if you find some place, let's say it's a hotel or it's some sort of travel agency thing like excursion desk that you see on the side of a street, instead of going through them, look and see what they have to offer. Oh, you can see elephants here, or you can go on a boat tour here, or you could see this here. Find out where all these places are. If you go there directly, you're going to pay a lot less than if you pay some third party who has to get their cut of your money before you even get to your final destination. If you're wanting to save money, just go directly to the source and negotiate a price with them. Now, if you're that person who likes your alcoholic beverage, I'm about to save you a lot of money. Don't buy imported liquor or beer to Thailand if you're trying to save money. They have perfectly good things here in Thailand, made in Thailand. As you may well know or not, Thailand has some good beers such as Singa or Chang, and they also have their own rum. They'll call it Thai whiskey. It's really rum, called Sang Som. So if you want a mixed drink, let's say, don't order, let's say you were going to get a rum and coke and you're going to get some sort of rum that you've heard of from your home country. Try getting a rum and coke and making it Sang Som. Since that is made here in Thailand, it will be a lot less. Another way to save money is don't go to fancy restaurants to eat street food. Street food is usually very affordable. We're talking 40 to 60 baht per meal, depending on what part of Thailand you are in, and you will not have to give up on flavor. As a matter of fact, some of the finest food here in Thailand you will get from street vendors. So if you're trying to get the most bang again for your baht, make sure you are going to as many street vendors as you can, and I can assure you, you will not be sorry. Now, another way to make the most bang for your baht is to know your baht. In other words, don't accidentally give someone the wrong denomination. Whenever you get here to Thailand and you get the different denominations, take a look at it. So the 1,000 baht's brown, and then you'll notice that the 100 baht's red. When you first get here, it looks like play money. It means nothing to you. It looks fake, really. And sometimes when you're in the middle of things and you're trying to pay, you could accidentally hand somebody the wrong denomination. Instead of handing them 100, you handed them 1,000. And depending on where you're at in Thailand, maybe they didn't give you the correct change back. You never know. Don't have that much problem with that here in Thailand, but it is good to know your money before you start using it. Now let's talk about those ATM fees. So if you are planning to come here and you're going to get your baht out of an ATM machine, that is a fine way to do it. Nothing wrong with that. But let's talk about how you can save a little money by doing that. For one, let's say you're going to stay here for 2 weeks and you think you're going to spend, let's say, $1,000 US. What I would say don't come here and go, I'm going to get 200 now, 200 3 days from now, another 200, because you're going to just keep raking up those ATM fees, the foreign transaction fees that are all on there. What I'm saying is, if you have a budget between during the time you're going to be here in Thailand, let's say of $1,000, just get it out $1,000 all at once, get it over with, and that way you're only having to pay that that fee for the ATM machine and the foreign transaction fee one time. Also, you can use your credit card while you're here in Thailand. Now, listen to me carefully before you do this. You have to have a credit card that has no foreign transaction fees. And you also want to make sure that whoever you're buying stuff from here in Thailand isn't going to charge you a 3% service charge for doing it. So there's a lot of places here in Thailand that will not charge you that 3%. And there are credit cards, and I'm speaking for the Americans right now, coming out of America that do not have foreign transaction fees on when you use your credit card. So my wife and I, we use our credit card as much as we can because we get points back. And again, we are not charged any of those foreign transaction fees. Now, I better tell you now because I know my comment section will be blown up if I don't tell you this, but we use Capital One. Now let's talk about lodging when you're here. So don't rule out Airbnbs if you're going to stay here for a longer period of time. You can possibly save money by doing Airbnb. Yes, that is alive and well here in Thailand. Also, instead of booking online, finding a place on the internet, if you know where you're going to, sometimes you can get a lot better deal at a hotel that you might pass by and go, wow, this looks really nice. A lot of smaller hotels are not going to be listed on Expedia or Agoda or things like that. So don't be afraid if you're going somewhere to find your hotel while you are there. Now, if you are coming in some of the busiest months of the year, which told you not to already, but if you are coming in through at that time, you may have a problem finding accommodation if, you know, a lot of places are already booked up. But if you're staying with the plan in this video and you're not coming down in the high season, you're probably going to find a lot better deals by walking in than you can online. And let's say you do go into a place that you just found on the side of the road and you want to check it out and you get a price. Don't feel, go on your phone and look up and see if that hotel is listed on Agoda or something like that and see what the rate is on there and compare the two. We found out sometimes that they were trying to charge us more by walking in than we could get if we booked on Agoda. And I had a friend of mine that happened to them. They showed them the rate for that hotel that they had on Agoda, and the hotel gave them that rate that was on Agoda. So don't be afraid to haggle with your hotel room prices. Well, I hope this has helped you. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We have all things Thailand and specifically Chiang Mai. If you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. There's a link down in the description. And until next time, Khap Kun Khap.